Um, I'll be doing a live about why men hesitate to pursue women. I feel like it's so important to discuss the importance of knowing why some men hesitate, and sometimes it's not always about him being intimidated or like, oh, he's nervous and he's intimidated by my ministry or purpose or something like that. So the first thing I will talk about is they wonder if women can handle rejection. If it doesn't work out, how are you going to respond? How are you going to act? Because it's all fun and games. It's all fun, like when it comes to pursuing and talking to somebody. But they're worried that you completely, you know, come out of character if it doesn't work out. Because sometimes there's a difference between courtship and dating. And sometimes, men are looking for women to date and court, but some women feel like, oh, you know what, you have a good thing and you should just stick with me, and it's supposed to just be married now. Like, it's supposed to, this next step should be marriage. But sometimes a man could see red flags, or he realizes that they're not compatible and there's no chemistry, or they have different values and morals and stuff like that. Because sometimes when you date somebody and you talk to somebody, they want to find out how you think. They want to find out your morals and your integrity, and if you have morals, the same values and stuff like that. They want to know if you have the same values as them. And it's so important to know that sometimes it doesn't end in marriage. It doesn't like end up getting married. So what they're worried about is them realizing that you're not the one and how you respond to it. Can you handle rejection? That's why it's so important as a Christian woman to have a life, to have wholeness, be whole, and not idolize marriage. Because if you idolize marriage, and you can't handle rejection, you don't want to end up, sabotaging yourself because you can't handle rejection. So, that's the first one, is him wondering if you can handle rejection. Can you handle it not working out? What if it doesn't work out? And it's really important for women to have a life, to enjoy being single, to enjoy your life, heal, and understand, not be sheltered. It's important not to be sheltered and feel like, oh, if I don't get married, my life is over. Have that mentality. You have to have fun. You got to enjoy your life. You don't want to end up being somebody that's desperate. Don't be desperate. Don't be that desperate woman that's like, oh, I have to be married. Like, oh, it has to work out. Because he's wondering if you can handle the rejection. Can you handle it not working out? If he says to you, no, we're not compatible, we don't have chemistry, or we have different values and opinions and morals. Can you handle that? Can you handle or no? Can you handle it not working out? That's what he's worried about. Like, it's not like you're not a catch, or like he's intimidated by your ministry or your purpose. Sometimes it's just, can you handle rejection? Like, are you idolizing marriage to the point that if it doesn't work out, you completely, like, be so bitter and angry, and you turn into this monster? Like, that's what he's worried about. And we have to prepare ourselves for rejection. We have to prepare ourselves to hear the word no. We have to prepare ourselves to realize that just because, oh, some people think that, even some people think like, oh, we're both Christians, that's enough. We're both Christians, we both go to church, that's enough. That's what some women think that way. Some people think that way. They feel like, we're both Christians, that's enough. Like, we're both got the same culture. We're both Christians. We have the same culture. Like, we should just get married. No, it's more than that. Like, you have to know what people. You have to understand different values. Like, if you have different morals or values and stuff like that, like, it's so important to understand that sometimes you have different morals, you have different values, and if it doesn't work out, you have to look in the mirror and realize that you are still enough. Like, you're still whole and you're still content and you still have a good life. So it's so important to know that there's guys that wonder if it doesn't work out, how are you going to respond? How are you going to act if it doesn't work out? How are you going to respond if it's, and they're like, oh, you know what, we're not compatible or not feeling it, or like, it's not working out, how are you going to respond to that? Are you going to be okay with that? Because some people feel like, oh, we're both Christians, like it should work out, and it's like sometimes it doesn't. How are you going to respond? Are you going to feel ashamed? Are you going to act out? Are you going to try to destroy him? Are you going to try to destroy yourself? Like, it's so important to love yourself and have high self-esteem. So if someone happens that he's not interested, that you won't completely feel ashamed. And the next one is, are you going to destroy their reputation? Like, if it doesn't work out, are you going to destroy his reputation? Are you going to say he's a player and that he did this, he misled you? Are you going to destroy his name? Are you going to ruin him and try to ruin his image and try and make it look like he's a player because you feel embarrassed? It's okay to realize that it's not working out and, walking away. But if you try to destroy his name and stuff like that, that's what he's worried about. He's worried about, are you going to start trying to expose him and make him like a horrible person? Like, you're going to punish him for, not going on with not going on with the marriage or stuff like that. Are you gonna actually destroy his reputation and say, oh yeah, he's a player, he's this, he's that, and you try to like smear your name, like go have a smear campaign and say, oh, he's this, he's that, because you feel so embarrassed to get rejected. Like, now you try to make it like he's a bad person because you can't handle rejection. And some people, are very flashy and a show off. When they're talking to a guy, they tell everyone, they tell people, and they're showing off, and they move too fast. And when it doesn't work out, they can't handle shame. So what they do is try to expose the person and try to shame them and embarrass them. So it's really, really important, that reason why men hesitate to pursue women, because they're worried about their reputation getting ruined. They're worried about their reputation being destroyed because certain things don't happen. And, some women want things to happen, and they want the guy to like start pursuing them, and it leads to marriage. And when sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't. And it's important to not take it personally and want to try to destroy his reputation. So next one is, are you a gold digger? Like, are you materialistic? Because sometimes media, entertainment, they have this unrealistic expectations for men about how much they make a month, how much money they have, and sometimes they just feel like women have unrealistic expectations. So if you want him to be a millionaire or a billionaire, that's what they're thinking about. They're thinking about their finances. They're thinking about how you view men. If you have that gold digger mindset, and they're wondering, like, because some women won't do 50-50. Some women are very masculine and they have a good job, and they're entrepreneurs, but some hesitate to do 50-50. And some men find that really strange, that if she's going to be workaholic and, be in business and work hard and be very masculine and take charge, and they don't want to do 50-50, it's like, what's the point? What's the point having her as, you know, like, why can't it be 50-50? And some women have that mindset. They're thinking, okay, this woman is saying that she's working so hard, she makes a lot of money, and she's doing well financially, and she's very masculine. She's like not feminine at all. She's very hardworking, and she takes charge, but she won't do 50-50. And it's just like the man's like wondering, like, if you're not gonna be feminine, if you're not gonna, be soft and submissive and stuff like that, and gentle, and you can be very, very manly and masculine, why not do 50-50? But some people have different rules, and it's like, it's down to finances too. Like, some people act like it's not, but it's really important to realize that some men hesitate because they want to know how you think. They want to know your mindset. They want to get on with it, and wonder why they're wondering why you have certain mindsets, and they're worried about you having unrealistic expectations and stuff like that. So that's the next one. Next one is, can he lead, or is it going to be your pastor leading? Are you going to be that woman that says, I need to talk to my pastor about this? Every single decision. It's like, you can't trust your own judgment. Some people grow up in toxic families, and they can't trust their own judgment. They can't trust their own judgment. Everything's about, they're questioning everything, and they're worried they can't make decisions, and he's worried about, him not like when it comes to like families, and they question their own judgment. They can't trust themselves. They can't trust themselves. They think to themselves, okay, can can you make decisions without having to go to your pastor? Like every single decision they have is like, oh, I need to talk to my pastor, and they all feel like you have daddy issues or like stuff like that, and they're wondering if you can actually let him lead, and he feels emasculated at every single situation. You're calling your pastor about every single thing, and he wants to lead. He wants to lead, and sometimes when it comes to some women in church, they tell they tell the pastor everything to the point that a man feels emasculated, and they don't want to feel emasculated. They want to be able to lead without you questioning everything. Because they feel like you question their manhood. When you say, oh, I think we talked about the pastor about this, everything about every single thing is like he feels like you're questioning his manhood, and you don't trust him to lead. And the next one, do you have unrealistic expectations? You might feel like he has to be perfect, because some women idolize marriage. They idolize their kids, they idolize their family. They have unrealistic expectations, and sometimes they're worried about that. They're concerned because maybe their mother grew up in church, and their mother idolized them and didn't really love them unconditionally. They had to be perfect. They had to be perfect, and now they're wondering that they're wondering if they had to be perfect. They're wondering if they had to be perfect, and you want a project, and they don't want to be a project. They want to be accepted for who they are, and that's why they hesitate, because they're wondering if you're going to try to control them and try to change them and see them as a project. They want to be accepted for who they are, but they're worried about you trying to change them. So that's why they hesitate sometimes, because it's like they don't want to be controlled. They don't want to be a project. They don't want to be like, if you're trying to control them, if you're trying to like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you're bossing them around, controlling them, and it's like you have this image about what a perfect guy is, and you want to change them, and you want to control everything and try and mold into somebody that they're not. So that's what they're concerned about. They're concerned about you trying to control them, and you trying to like mold them up to be somebody they're not. They don't want to be projects. Men don't want to be projects. They don't want to be somebody like, oh, maybe you could do this, you could do that, and they idolize, and they don't want to be idolized. They want to be accepted for who they are. They want unconditional love. They don't want to be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna like, I could fix that. I could fix this. Don't worry, I'll fix you up. And that's why men like try to hide away from church women sometimes, because they feel like they are a project, and they want to be respected for who they are. And next one, do you have respect? That's what they're questioning. Do you have respect? Because a lot of women in church, they say how much they serve in church, how much they volunteer, but they're very rude, and they're emasculating, and they use intimidation sometimes to get their way, and they do humiliation rituals, and they have bad character, they have no inner beauty, and they're worried about you having no respect. Like, yes, you pray every day, yes, you are serving in church, yes, you are, you're doing stuff, you're in purpose, and you're serving with your gifts, whether that's online or social media like marketplace. You're doing stuff for the kingdom, but how is your attitude? Do you respect him? And a lot of women are like, oh, I do this, I do that, but their character's horrible. They're nasty. They're competitive. They're in competition with people, and they're horrible, and they're not nice to live with. And some men have seen women in church, and they see how their character is at home, and they're horrible people. They're two-faced, and they're worried about your attitude, if you respect them, if you're going to emasculate them. And the next one is, are you a mean girl? That's important, because they're worried about their daughters. Like, are you going to compete with your daughter? Are you going to be in competition with your daughter? Are you going to be like, everything has to be competition? Are you going to be insecure and try to one up your daughter? Are you going to try to like, are you a mean girl? Are you a mean woman? Are you going to be in drama every single time? He doesn't want drama. He wants to have a peaceful home. He wants to have a peaceful home. He doesn't want to be he don't want to be in drama. He wants a calm life. And if you are constantly bringing drama in his life, that's not peaceful. He wants peace. So if you are a mean woman, if you are very mean and you're always in drama, you're always being catty and mean, he's concerned about that. He's concerned about the peace you're gonna bring, because he likes his life. He likes being that. He likes having peace. And if you're gonna bring chaos, he's hesitating about that. Next one is, are you foolish? The next one is, are you foolish? Are you a foolish person? Are you easily misled? Do you have sense? Sometimes women are sheltered and they get scammed, they get exploited. And, people make mistakes. In the past, you can look at your past and think, oh, yeah, you were scammed, you were exploited by people, and you feel embarrassed for making mistakes. But if there's arrogance there and pride, and you feel like, oh, well, I never done nothing wrong, I never done anything wrong. If you're just prideful and arrogant and foolish and you're deluded, then men are looking at that. Are you deluded? Are you always in money issues? You always have financial issues. You're giving away all your money. You have no boundaries. There's nothing wrong with giving. There's nothing wrong with being charitable. But if you're constantly in financial issues and you're easily misled and you can't say no, you have no boundaries, he's concerned about that, because he's wondering if you're going to talk to him about money. Are you going to give all your money to people, your friends and family, without talking to him first? If you're giving money to church or your family or your friends, or they're begging for money and you don't have boundaries, are you going to talk to your husband first? Are you going to talk to him first about money issues and like people that need money? Are you going to talk to him first, or are you going to do purchases by him knowing? It's so important to have sense. It's so important to be a wise woman. And lot of women in church are suffering with spirit of rejection. They're in comparison. They're in comparison. They're in competition, and they're competing with people, and everything's competition, and they're trying to one up people, and they're in competition, and it's really important. That's why men hesitate, because they're wondering how low your self-esteem is. And next one is, are you in competition? Which is like the similar one. It's like the same thing. Are you in competition? Like, are you constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses? Are you like, oh, look what she's wearing? She was on holiday. We need to go on holiday. Look what she's wearing. I want that. He's wondering if you're gonna be in competition. Like, every single person. Like, are you gonna be like, oh, look what she's wearing. Look where they went on holiday. We need to go on holiday too. Look at their house. Everything's competition, and he's concerned about you being in competition, and like, he wants peace, and he doesn't want to have issues with finances because you're trying to compete with people. And it's so important to heal from spirit rejection. It's so important to heal from low self-esteem and low self-worth. Can't be compete with people all the time. You're just driven by competition. Everything's a competition. You have to compete with people, and it's so important to have self-worth, self-respect, and not being not being in competition with other people, because that's really dangerous. Competing with people. Oh my god, I got to buy that, I got to wear that, I got to go on holiday. Come on, we need to go on holiday. Everything's competition. So it's really important to realize that some men hesitate because some women have such low self-esteem, they're in competition. And the last one is, are you performing? This nice girl act, is it just to get the ring? Like, are you a good person? Because some women, they go to church, their lifestyle hasn't changed. They're just trying to figure out a way to get a ring and get married, because they tried different ways, and now they're using celibacy as a tool, as like a technique, as a strategy to get a guy. And they're performing. They pretend to be they're pretending to be good and stuff like that and kind, but it's just a performance to get their way. And they have their idol. It's like they have an idol, and they're thinking, oh, if I just be nice, if I just play nice, if I just pretend I'm a good person, maybe he will see it and buy it, and hopefully he won't see red flags. But they're wondering if you're performing. They're wondering if it's just an act. If you just put on an act, that's what they're wondering, if you just put on an act. So I hope that helped. If you need any counseling or coaching or prayer requests, email me. Thank you for listening.